Greetings, Pokemon fans, and welcome back to Polyworld's Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're doing a playthrough of Pokemon Blue using Jynx. This is a continuation of my series to figure out who the best Ice-type is in Generation 1. I do want to make a quick correction real quick. I did this correction, explained it in the last video I did on Wednesday, but not everyone's seen that, and not everyone's watching those kind of videos, so I'm going to explain it in this one. Whenever I did my Dugong video, I put up a picture of all the Ice-type Pokemon and explained I would be playing through in the order that they were in the picture. That's not how I want to do this. I did it that time, I made an error, I'm just sticking with it. But what I'm going to do in the future, and I did this in the previous playthroughs with other typings, is what I want to do is I want to play through in order of how I think they'll finish. Jynx is not the Pokemon I thought would end up in third place in this playthrough. It is actually a Pokemon I thought would be last, but the picture had it arranged as Dugong, Articuno, Jynx, Lapras, and Cloyster. So I'm playing through in that order. I'm correcting this right now, saying I did that wrong with the rest of the types I did. Just letting you know, I do not think Jynx will come in third. I know it doesn't come in third. I guarantee the next two Pokemon will obliterate this Pokemon. And for good reason. But I wanted to get that out there. Without further ado, let's dive into the actual Pokemon. We'll go over the stats and some of the moves real quick. And then we'll dive into the actual playthrough. This is an Ice Psychic Pokemon. It's in the medium fast growth rate. HP 65. Attack is 50. Defense is 35. That's abysmal. Speed and special are both 95, and critical hit is an 18.36%, which is actually pretty good. About 20% of the time, we will critical hit. In the top right corner is exactly the reason why I don't think this Pokemon will end anywhere other than last place. This Pokemon starts with Pound and Lovely Kiss. Pound is a normal move, 40 base, power 100% accurate. However, we have a low attack stat, and the first gym is Brock. And normal moves are pretty much not effective at all against Brock. Lovely Kiss will put Pokemon to sleep, but it only has 10 power points, and it's 75% accurate. And then we get Lick, via level up as well. It's a ghost move, 20 power, 100% accurate. It can paralyze, which is why we gotta get to level 18 to beat Brock. Double Slap, we're probably not gonna use. Ice Punch will be used for a little bit. Body Slam, Thrash, Blizzard. They all might get used. And then you have a bunch of TMs. Not a lot of TMs, but a bunch. Bubble Beam, Water Gun, Ice Beam, Blizzard will definitely be used. Body Slam, like I said. Double Edge, maybe. Mega Punch, definitely. And then we have Submission and Counter and Seismitoss. None of those will get used except for maybe Seismitoss for a little bit. It is a set damage move. Eventually we'll get Psychic, which is very good for this Pokemon. It's Stab. And then we're looking at Mimic. And that's pretty much it. Not a lot of other moves we're going to use with this Pokemon. What is the problem with this Pokemon? If you look at all the other Ice types, all the other Ice types start with some kind of either Water or Ice move. Dugong started with Headbutt and Aurora Beam. Articuno started with Peck and Ice Beam, and a little bit of a spoiler, Lapras will start with Water Gun and Growl, and Cloyster will start with Aurora Beam and Clamp. All those are stab moves, all those make Brock's gym completely obsolete, and it's just a matter of how fast you beat them, not more or less how you beat them. It's just as soon as you hit them with one thing, they're going to get one shot. Jynx does not have that luxury. Pound is not effective because it's a Rock-type Pokemon. And so we gotta get the Lick, and Lick will be helpful because Lick is not exactly super effective, but it's a neutral damage move, and it can paralyze. And if you don't know this about Brock, Brock has 5 full heals for both of his Pokemon. This is why Lovely Kiss wouldn't be a great strategy, because if he didn't have full heals, you can just put him to sleep. And Generation 1, sleep can last 6 turns, and they can't attack on the turn they wake up. So Lovely Kiss would be a wonderful strategy if it had like 20 power points, or if he had no full heals. However, as soon as you put him to sleep, he's going to use a full heal and wake back up. Now, Lick does this and has a lot more power points, and eventually you could get through all the 5 full heals that he has, and then you can actually paralyze him. Very useful, and that's why we can't beat Brock until we get to level 18. Without further ado, let's dive into this Pokemon. We're going to face our first battle here against our rival. We named our Pokemon Trixie, and we named our rival. What we name our rival? Our rival's name is just Mark. I picked a random name. And we're going to go for Pound. And there's no point putting him to sleep. Just Pound's going to get a critical hit here and there. He will go for Growl occasionally and lower our attack, but we get the knockout nonetheless. Pretty easy win over our first rival battle. And then we move on to the Bug Forest. Now in the Bug Forest, we would use this usually as like the first real battles we have after our rival. And just take these battles as they come and get a little bit of levels and then go on and just progress through the game. However, Jynx does not have that luxury. We had to get to level 8 before we got here. And we're still not doing that much damage. But the whole point of that is we have to get to level 18. So we're going to have to grind. This is why I didn't think this Pokemon would at all come anywhere close to the other times. In fact, it's going to be one of our worst times we've done so far in this challenge. Maybe in the second playthrough I can find a way to optimize and get some more time out of it. But nonetheless, we have to grind and get all these levels in the Bug Forest. We have to grind and face our rival. And then after we do all that and we face the Moonlight Trainer, we still got to get like another 5 or 6 levels. So enjoy these battles while we can, because you're going to skip over all the grinding. I'm going to do the grinding for you, so you don't have to see it. Pound is working decently well. I mean, these are bug type and they're not doing a lot of damage to us. The only thing we got to worry about here really is getting poisoned. We come across an antidote right there, so it wouldn't be the worst thing ever. And we're going to go ahead and take on our rival. We're at level 10, and the strategy we're using here is we're going to use Lovely Kiss. Lovely Kiss will put the Pokemon to sleep. And what we don't want with Pidgey is we don't want our accuracy lowered. So we are hitting 2 hits in a row of a 75% accurate move, so it's pretty good. And so we knock out the Pidgey without taking any damage. Now Charmander here could be bad, but he's not, because he doesn't even have Ember yet. He has one more level before he gets Ember. He gets Ember at level 9. Right now he's at level 8, so the only thing he can really do is growl or tackle us. So we get the pretty easy win over our rival using sleep strats. And now we move right on to the Million Light Years trainer in Brock's gym. And we're going to use the same strategy. We're going to put him to sleep. We're going to use Pound. Pound's going to be a 3-shot on the Diglett. A critical hit did give us a lot more damage on that first hit than we normally would. And now we want to use Sleep Strats on the Sandshrew. Sandshrew can actually use Sand Attack and make this battle really knock down, drag out, and we don't want to do that. We are very frail. And as soon as it starts hitting us, the same level as us, as soon as it starts hitting us with physical attacks, it's going to do a lot more damage than we could ever do to it. So we get the knockout, we get to level 12. And then we're going to leave. 8 minutes and 12 seconds. We'll come back at 22 minutes and 50 seconds to face this trainer. And now, like I said, we have Lick. And can this Pokemon get beat? Can Brock get beat below level 18 with Jynx? It's possible, I assume. But I didn't want to take that risk and end up having to have multiple resets and taking more time than it would have just to grind. And so we're already here, and you've seen it already. If you're watching the screen right now, he just got paralyzed, and he's using the full restore, or full heal. And what that does, it prevents Geodude from attacking us. So we're getting all the way to the Onix with more than half health. About, I would say about what? 2/3 of our health. And we're having the same issue, or same things going on here. Onix gets licked, and then gets paralyzed. And then Brock has to use a full heal. So like I said, he has 5 per Pokemon. So once we get 5 paralysis out of the way, he will no longer full heal, and then he'll just stay paralyzed. So Lick is doing the job. He's doing a decent amount of damage to us, but we do outpace him. We knock him out. We beat Brock, and we get the Boulder Badge, and we're going to move right on to Mount Moon. Mount Moon, a couple things happen to Mount Moon. I showcased one of them, and I stupidly didn't showcase the other, but right here, pick up Water Gun. Water Gun's great because it goes off our special, and it's a decent move. And we also pick up Mega Punch. Mega Punch is an upgrade over Pound. It's actually twice the power output of Pound. Even though we're not a good physical attacking Pokemon, it's better to have a twice as powerful move even if you have low attack stat. We just got to whittle down the Coughing here. The Coughing is paralyzed. We use Water Gun, knock it out, beat the Super Duper Nerd, get the Dome Fossil. Oh, hell, the Dome Fossil. I know if I didn't tell you, you're going to ask. Actually, now I think we're going to ask anyway. Comments are great for that YouTube algorithm. Moving right on to Misty. Now, beating Misty is not needed right now, but I would rather have this better move, so we went ahead and took on Misty. She does not have full heal, so we're going to go for a Lovely Kiss. We're going to put the Pokemon to sleep. Mega Punch looks like it's going to be about a 2-shot, but she did go for a very unfun defense, X-Defend. A critical hit, skipped over that defense buff she just got, and now Starmie's asleep. Now he's got a Mega Puncher until she gets knocked out. There we go. She woke up. Lovely Kiss goes again. Lovely Kiss is actually having very good accuracy right now. It usually does not have this kind of accuracy, so we can be pretty happy about it. And then Water Gun, 2 more Water Guns will get the knockout. Very good. Basically right there, Misty's AI will only choose like Tackle. We won't use Water moves because it uses as Ice type, so it uses as ineffective. And we will not be using Double Slap in this playthrough, so we skipped over Double Slap. We get the TM for a Bubble Beam, and we're going to move right on and face our rival. On Nugget Bridge, the rival's going to come out with a Pidgeotto. Like I said, we did just add Bubble Beam, so we're going to rearrange our moves just a little bit. Bubble Beam's going to be a better move than Mega Punch, just because it goes off our special attacking stat, or our special stat overall. And in other generations, special attack and special defense, and this generation's a special. So we one-shot all the Pokemon except the Charmander. If we'd have gone for Bubble Beam, we'd have one-shot. So we beat Charmander, we beat our rival, knocked him out, and I'm going to move right on to the SS Anne. Right now we're getting on the SS Anne, and real quick, I'm going to pause this video just so I can go over something with you guys really quick. You look at the top left corner at the time. The time is 35 minutes and 33 seconds. If you look at the time of the 2 other Pokemon in this series that we've played through so far, which is Articuno and Dugong, at 35 minutes, they were like 6 or 7 gym leaders in and prepping for the Elite Four. Compared to this Pokemon who's just now getting on the SSN. She only has 2 gym badges. She's about to get her 3rd, so we're not far away from our 3rd. But I'm just showing you that 24 minutes was how long it took to get by Brock. And at 24 minutes, some of the Pokemon, like I said, were in like the 4th and 5th gym leader easily. So that's how far behind Jynx is compared to the other 2 in this series. This is why I did not think Jynx was going to do very well in this series. It's just that early game is such a slog in Generation 1 if you don't have a great move for Brock, if you have only normal moves. So now we're going to face this trainer. This trainer is insignificant, doesn't matter. However, the move we get after we face that trainer is what's important. Is now we have Body Slam in place of Mega Punch, so we have a more reliable move that will hit every time except for like that Gen 1 miss. Bubble Beam will 2-shot the Pidgeotto. We did get our actually lower by 1 stage with a Sand Attack, which is why I hate Sand Attack. But all we need to do is hit Eradicate now, very good. Body Slam on the Kadabra is a 1-shot, extremely good. And if we go for Bubble Beam, if we can just hit, there we go. We knock out the Charmeleon. We get burned, not a big deal. We beat our rival. And we're going to move right on to Lieutenant Surge. Now, Lieutenant Surge isn't really a risk here. We're not weak to him. But there, things can go south. You can get paralyzed and then go last, and then Thunderbolt's just super effective. There's a lot of things that can happen here. But Bubble Beam, a combination of Bubble Beam, Body Slam, 1-shots the Voltorb. Pikachu goes down to 1 Bubble Beam. And Raichu, I don't know why we did this. We should have just gone for the knockout. We put Raichu to sleep. He goes for X speed. I don't know why he does that. Body Slam looks like it's going to be a 3-shot. And then Seismic Toss will end up, finishing off the Pokemon, giving us a win over Lieutenant Surge with level 29. And move right onto the Rock Tunnel, where we always face off this against Boomer the Hiker. Like I said, we have Bubble Beam. This will be a non-contest. We level up right here and get Ice Punch. Ice Punch, as lovely and as amazing as Ice Punch is, it does not have a long use in this. We get Ice Punch here, and as soon as we get to Celadon City, we're going to get Ice Beam. So that's literally like a minute away from this. So it'd be nice to have Ice Punch from the beginning. Like I said, I think I want to do a playthrough where I what if Jynx has Ice Punch. And it'll probably be a much better story with this Pokemon about how good or bad it will do. Maybe I'll throw that in as like a what if scenario for next Wednesday. In fact, I think I will. I think I'm going to decide to do that. Ice Beam on all of Erica's Pokemon. Sorry, I'm not commenting on the gym leader. This is a non-contest battle. She doesn't get a chance to do anything. We one-shot everything with Ice Beam. And move right on to the Rocket Game Corner, where we're going to face this dude. He is a non-contest as well. We're going to Body Slam or Bubble Beam our way through. And I didn't mention this, but we've also picked up Psychic. So we have Psychic, a stab super effective move, and Ice Beam, a stab super effective move. So our moveset has evolved into being a very, very powerhouse moveset. So we're going to go ahead and go for Bubble Beam on the Onix, Bubble Beam on the Rhyhorn, very good. We're going to go for Ice Beam on the Kangaskhan. It's a 1-shot across the board. Giovanni is a non-factor against Jynx. He has all Pokemon weak to it, and then his next team has a bunch of poison Pokemon when we have Psychic. So his team gets even worse against us. Now we're facing our 5th rival in the Pokemon Tower, and this will be a non-contest as well. Ice Beam on the Pidgeotto, Ice Beam on the Execute. Gyarados is the only one that's really concerning, but we get a critical hit, so we knock it out, but it resists our Ice move because it's water, at least it's neutral. Body Slam on the Kadabra, and Bubble Beam on the Charmeleon. Like I said, a non-contest. We one-shot everything. The Jynx has the potential to be very good. You just have to get the moveset going. And that's the problem in the early game. It doesn't have access to any of those things. So we're going to go ahead and face our rival. We went straight from our 5th rival to our 6th rival. I didn't see a point in going anywhere else. Nothing's going to super benefit us. Koga's gym would be pretty easy when we face Koga, but the other Pokemon in there are Psychic type. So it wouldn't have been the easiest battle. We might have got some losses there, or it would have been like more frustrating. So I was like, you know what? We're high enough level. Let's just go ahead and take on our rival and get the experience we need. We're almost at level 40 at this point. We still have at least our 5th gym leader, or our 4th and 5th, our 5th gym leader. Yeah, it's Koga's our 5th. And then we have a bunch of stuff. So I was like, let's go ahead and do it. And we're going to be super effective against Giovanni. We should have gone for Psychic here. We're going to heal immediately after this battle because we got to dig out anyway. So we should have just gone for Psychic. I think I was trying to conserve power points, and that's why I went for Psychic, or Water Gun on the Nidorino. But we get a clean sweep over Giovanni's team. 1 hits across the board except for the first Pokemon, and now we move right on to Sabrina. Sabrina and her whip, and she's going to come out with a Kadabra. We outspeed the Kadabra. Body Slam's a 1-shot critical hit. Don't know if that mattered or not, but we will take the critical hit. Critical hit there did not help. We do paralyze the Mr. Mime, knock it out. Venomoth, we're going to go for Psychic on the Venomoth. It is actually bug poison or something like that. So it's It's a weird typing, and I love how Scott Sauce has a new typing every time he talks about it. And I'm not sure what the typing is either, honestly. I understand the confusion. I really do. So right now we're battling Alakazam, and Alakazam's like getting in a healing loop where he just does recover over and over and over again. So eventually we freeze him. That's the strategy there. We get him frozen. And we're going to move right on to Koga. Koga is the poison gym leader, and like I said earlier, he is not a problem. But if you look at the other members of his gym, the trainers in here, they're all like other psychic types. Does not make any sense, but it is what it is. So you have some problems with those types because they're weak. They're not weak to psychic like all of his Pokemon are. All of his Pokemon were one hits across the board. So we sweep Koga, we destroy his gym, and now we're going to move right on to, I believe we're going to move right on to Blaine's gym. So Blaine is the fire gym leader. So he kind of has an advantage against us, but he kind of doesn't because he's weak to water moves. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But we're going to one-shot the Growlithe, one-shot the Ponyta, critical hit, don't know if that mattered. And we're going to two-shot the Rapidash. Now Rapidash is going to be a problem because it has Fire Spin. Fire Spin is going to be decently effective. Not super effective, but decently effective. It does heal as well. And so we get the knockout. Now we have about just over half health against the Arcanine. Psychic on the Arcanine. It's special drop. So I'm pretty sure that's why we won that battle. Is we got that special drop. So he didn't do as much damage with Fire Blast. See, that should have one-shot us because we are Ice type. But that special drop with Psychic was clutch right there. We get the win. We move right on to Giovanni. And just like every other Giovanni fight, this is going to be a cakewalk. Ice Beam on the Rhyhorn. Ice Beam on the Dugtrio. Nidoqueen comes out. We should go for Psychic on the Nidoqueen. Very good. Nidoking comes out. Psychic on the Nidoking. And we go for Ice Beam on, or Bubble Beam on the Rhydon. We picked the wrong move there, but Bubble Beam knocks it out. Pretty easy win over Giovanni. We are at 1 hour and like 1 minute right now. So we are doing pretty good on time compared to what all the struggles we had early. And we're facing our rival battle. Our rival's going to come out, and it's going to come out with a Pidgeot. Right now, I'm going to pause it real quick. If you look in the bottom left corner where it says medium fast, so right there shows our experience and how close we are to leveling up. So we're about to mimic agility to badge boost and get our stats boosted so that we can sweep this team. Now here's the problem. We level up in the middle of battle, and we lose all those boosts, and then we just get one shot at the end. So here we go, and yeah. So now we have agility, and we've set up. And we knock out the Pidgeot. That was never a problem. We were always going to knock out the Pidgeot. And now we knock out the Rhyhorn. That was never a problem. The Execute was never a problem. Now the problem is Gyarados. Gyarados is not a one-shot, so now we level up. And now Alakazam, Body Slam misses. And we're not really getting any problems, but I did not realize right there that we just got a special drop. So that's probably why this didn't do a lot of damage to Charizard at all. We're going to actually set up on the Rhyhorn, because he doesn't really do a lot of damage to us anyway. It's going to go for a couple of Fury attacks, but we get fully set up, and now we should be able to sweep the Rhyhorn, knocking out the Execute. That was never a problem. Knocking out the Gyarados. It's always been a problem. It's a 2-hit knockout. Dragon Rage does a decent amount of damage. And now, if we can just hit the Alakazam with our boosted Body Slam, nope, it doesn't knock it out. Now it's in a healing loop. It's paralyzed now. It does a little bit of damage to us with Side Beam, but we knock it out. We still level up, which is, something I was concerned about anyway. But now we're just going to go for Ice Beam and one-shot it, because it is a flying Pokemon. I guess it worked. And we beat our rival and move right on to the Elite Four. Before we go into the Elite Four, though, we're going to go ahead and look at our Pokemon stats. Stats before all the badge boosts are applied. Our attack is 112, defense is 94, speed is 167, and special 167. If you look in the bottom left corner, our stats with the badge boost applied, our attack is 126, defense is 105, speed is 187, and so is special. So it's very ironic that those things lined up evenly. I mean, in the beginning it says 95 for both the stats, so it makes sense. But I figured one of them would get a little bit of an edge. But they're dead even. And then we're going to look at our moveset real quick. You can see it in the top left corner. I'm just going to put on the big screen here in the middle. Ice Beam, Body Slam, Psychic, and Mimic. Ice Beam and Psychic are our stab moves. Body Slam is for things that maybe have great special but low defense. And then Mimic, we're going to mimic a move for the opposition. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the Elite Four. We only have one reset at this point. If Pokemon is this bad and we've only had one reset, we're doing pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and take on the Dugong Gong Gong. And we're going to go ahead and go for Psychic. It's a knockout. We're going to go for Psychic on the Cloyster. It's not a one-shot, but it gets very close. Knock it out on the second hit. And now we're going to mimic Amnesia on the Slowbro. Amnesia is going to boost our special by 2 stages. It's going to boost all of our other stats too, but boost our special. That's the most important part. Psychic is a one-shot on the Slowbro. Psychic is a one-shot on the Jynx. Is a Psychic a one-shot on the Lapras? It is. We get a pretty easy win over Lorelei. and move right on to Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. He's kind of a cakewalk for this Pokemon. Onix comes out. We're going to go for Ice Beam on the Onix. And then we're going to go for Psychic on the Hitmonchan. Psychic on the Hitmonlee. Very good. Onix comes out. Psychic on the Onix. We probably should have gone for Ice Beam, but it's okay. And Psychic on the Machamp. We get a clean sweep over Bruno. And move right on to Agatha. Agatha has the Agatha Lottery. Usually with this Pokemon, I would mimic Hypnosis and put it to sleep. But what we're going to do instead is just go for Psychic. It's a one-shot on the Gengar. It's going to be Ice Beam, one-shot on the Golbat. We have a great moveset for Agatha, so she's really just a non-factor in this battle. She usually can paralyze you, put you to sleep, confuse you, poison you. Unless she doesn't have a chance to hit you, she can't do any of those things. So Jynx is really good in that battle. And now we're moving on to Lance, the Dragon Specialist of the Elite Four. He leads out with a Gyarados, who's not a dragon. He looks like one. He should be. I would love to do a video where I change his typing just to see how effective he is as a dragon type, like a dragon water Pokemon rather than dragon flying. So we're going to go for Agility. We get 2 setups. I don't want to risk it. So we're going to go ahead and go for Ice Beam. Knock out the Dragonair. It's super effective. 285 effective power against Dragonair. Ice Beam on the Aerodactyl. And Dragonite gets 570 effective power with Ice Beam. That is the highest I've ever seen for any attack that's not like boosted in some way. But we get the knockout, we get the win over Lance, and now we're going to go and face our rival. We're at level 65, and we have 1 reset at this point. Can we finish and clean sweep this Pokemon? Let's go ahead and do this. Ice Beam on the Pidgeot, very good. And we're going to go ahead and go for Recover on the Alakazam. Now this is where I'm making a mistake. I don't need to be going for Recover on the Alakazam. The strategy here, and this is kind of the strategy anytime you face our rival, our champion I should say, is you want to just recover on the Rhydon and let him do Leers. Well, our defense is already pretty frail, so going for a lot of Leers is just going to make our defense even worse. And we're going to one-shot the Rhydon as soon as we decide to attack. We one-shot the Executor. Now the problem is we don't have a way to one-shot the Gyarados. So he knows our defense is low, and he goes for Hyper Beam and just obliterates us from full health down to 0. Just absolutely obliterates us. We're going to try this battle again. We're going to Ice Beam on the Pidgeot, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to mimic a move again. But maybe the strategy here is not to mimic Recover. If we can just one-shot the Gyarados, this wouldn't be a factor. Because I'm pretty sure all we got to do is hit one time on the Charizard and we're going to be just fine. It's not working the way we want it to. We are getting the, the Bats boost from the Rhydon like we want, but we're not getting the results when it comes to the attacks. Here we go. We're just recovering until we get the right RNG. We get the right moves done. So we are +3 right now. We Ice Beam the Rhydon. That's always been a foregone conclusion. Ice Beam on the Executor. Very good. And like I said, Gyarados, even though our stats are boosted, it is not a one-shot. And he's going to one-shot us again. Our strategy needs to change a little bit. Recovering isn't working because we got to lower our defense. And regardless of being full health, it's still one-shotting us. So instead, we're going to mimic Reflect. Reflect is going to make it so that we can up our defense so we don't get hit by some things. We're going to go for Ice Beam on the Alakazam. The reason why is it went for Reflect, so we're not going to do a lot of damage anyway. So moving right on to the Rhydon. And instead of going for Recover and boosting our, recovering our health, we're going to boost our defense so that we can't get hit by anything. We have a really good special, so that also affects our defense. So he's going to go for Hydro Pump, which does not a lot of damage. A little bit of damage, but not a lot. So now we're able to get by the Gyarados. We do level up, and now Ice Beam is a one-shot on the Charizard. So we get the win over our rival with a better strategy. A strategy I've not used in a long time. Have not used Reflect in a long time in a strategy or in a playthrough. So that's effective, and I like it. Let's go ahead and pause it right here. The clock in a time of 1 hour and 9 minutes 57 seconds. We have 3 resets. Not bad. It's based on what we had to deal with in the beginning. So basically, if you subtract 24 minutes off of that, what's that put us at? Beat the game after Brock in about a little over, not quite 40 minutes, but not quite 30 minutes. So not bad. I mean, we didn't do horrible in that regard, but the start of the game was pretty bad. So I have decided I'm going to do on Wednesday a what if scenario. But before I do that, I do want to go ahead and put Jynx on the leaderboard and see where it goes. 1 hour and 9 minutes 57 seconds. That's just under the 70-minute mark. So Jynx would land right there. So this is how bad Jynx was. It was 3 minutes slower than Moltres, which isn't something to celebrate. You're 3 minutes slower than the worst fire-type Pokemon, but you are about 20 minutes faster than Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan was like 89 minutes and some seconds, so you just barely beat out Hitmonchan. You didn't just barely. You obliterated Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan's gonna be the worst Pokemon for a long time. I want to say that. So yeah, that's the leaderboard right now, and we still have some Pokemon we're gonna play through a second time. Obviously, all the ice types will get a second playthrough, but I really want to do a playthrough of Pokemon Blue with Jynx, and it starts out the game with Ice Punch. I think that would drastically change the dynamic of this Pokemon. It'd probably be up there with like Dugong and Articuno, maybe even up there with like Machamp. I think it just makes this Pokemon very broken. If Powder Snow is a thing, I think it'd be a happy medium, but Powder Snow is not available in Gen 1. And some things about me is I like Pokemon, but I do not know the coding part of the game. So I can't code in the move Powder Snow to like make it balanced. That's the Generation 2 move. It's when it became available. It evolves from Smoochum, so it actually starts out the game at level 5 with it. But I think Smoochum gets it at like level like 10 or 12 or something like that. So that's why Jynx gets that. However, that is my playthrough. This is the video. And next week, so we have a couple things planned this week. First off, we're doing a Jynx What If on next Wednesday. What if Jynx starts out the game with Ice Punch? It's going to be fun to do, so you should tune in for that on next Wednesday. I should be able to get that knocked out and posted. And it's not going to affect this leaderboard at all. I just want to do it for fun, to see how Jynx would do, what can make this Pokemon better. I want to do at some point what can make any Pokemon better, like moveset. For example, Poliwrath. If Poliwrath had Amnesia to start the game, how much better would Poliwrath be? That's one example. How much better would Machamp be if it had X move? Whatever. I don't think Dugong would be much better unless you gave it Ice Beam instead of Aurora Beam. Kind of the same thing with Articuno. What if Articuno had Drill Peck? Would be a great one, maybe. But really, with what I want to do that with is Pokemon that are garbage. Like, for example, what if Hitmonchan had Low Kick, for example? How much better would Hitmonchan be? What if Jynx had Ice Punch? So that's what we're going to do next Wednesday. I should be able to squeeze in that playthrough and be able to edit it and get it posted in time. I'm very excited about that. It won't be a very long video. I'll probably have a supercut of it. But I do want to know how much better Jynx would be if it had any kind of ice move early in the game. Even Water Gun would make it super effective, but I'm not going to look up do Water Gun. It doesn't make sense to do Water Gun. It makes more sense to do Ice Punch because it is an ice Pokemon. And then next Friday, we got our playthrough of Lapras. Lapras is going to be a good play. It's going to be way better than Jynx. I will bet anything I own it will be way better than Jynx. I think a lot of the ice type's going to land under 50 minutes. When I look at the moveset and how quickly that burns through the early part of the game, there are some ice types, like Dugong and Articuno, basically beat Brock in like 4 minutes. Jynx, if you knock 20 minutes off Jynx's time, she's right up there in the sub 50 category. She's right there. She's at 1 hour, 9 minutes. So that's, 49 minutes is what that would end up being. It's 69 minutes right now and 57 seconds. It'd be 49 minutes and 57 seconds if you're able to knock out Brock in like 4 minutes. There's probably some other residual effects that happen from that. Lower level, so some other battles may be more convoluted and complicated. We will see. That's why we're going to do the what if scenario. It sounds like it's going to be fun. And then I'll also have the Lapras playthrough next Friday. Tune in. This is JD. This is Polywar's Wrath. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.